Welcome to the American grocery store in 2025, where everything is more expensive, but somehow worse. Your receipt reads like a car payment, but you're still wondering what happened to flavor, freshness, and food that doesn't rot in 36 hours. And no, you're not hallucinating. Your apples did start browning in the car on the way home. That's not just oxidation, that's food fatigue. We're now living in a world where basic groceries feel like luxury items.
Major issue this past year during the election was the rising cost of goods like groceries.
Overpriced, overprocessed, and often shipped from 3 time zones away. So here's the question we all need to ask. Why does everything cost more and taste like nothing? Let's talk about it. Because this isn't accidental. In 2025, navigating the grocery store feels akin to applying for a mortgage, complete with stress, confusion, and the looming dread of financial ruin. The USDA forecasts a 2.1% increase in food-at-home prices this year, a seemingly modest uptick that belies the cumulative strain on household budgets. But wait, there's more. There's tariffs. The stealthy culprits inflating your grocery bill.
They have to raise their prices as a result of the tariffs, threatening their low-price model.
The Yale Budget Lab estimates that new tariffs could cost American households an additional $4,900 annually, with fresh produce prices alone jumping over 5%. That's not just a pinch, it's a full-on body slam to your wallet. And let's not forget the avian flu, which has decimated poultry flocks and sent egg prices soaring. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the retail price of eggs jumped nearly 6% in March alone, landing at $6.23 a dozen. That's more than double what they cost in March 2024, when you could still get a dozen for $2.99.
The egg prices have soared 15% in the latest US inflation report. The spike in egg prices comes as bird flu sweeps across the nation.
So, your morning omelet now comes with a side of financial despair. In this economic climate, every trip to the grocery store is a high-stakes game of financial Jenga. One wrong move, like opting for organic apples over conventional ones, and your budget comes tumbling down. It's not just about choosing between eggs and gas, it's about surviving the grocery aisle without triggering a fiscal crisis. So, the next time you're in aisle 4, staring at a $9 box of cereal that's shrunk by 20%, remember, it's not you, it's the system. And that system is broken. Let's start with the obvious. The grocery aisle isn't a free market, it's a food cartel in khakis. A handful of mega retailers dominate the shelves, squeezing out competition and dictating prices. This consolidation means fewer choices for consumers and higher prices at checkout. It's not about supply and demand anymore, it's about control and profit margins.
Even though inflation is going down, shrinkflation appears to be back on the rise.
Ever wonder why your fresh produce tastes like it's been on a world tour? Because it has. Take strawberries, for example. Picked early in Mexico, shipped to Wisconsin, and sold as fresh. Your bell pepper probably traveled more than you did this year. This global supply chain isn't about getting you the best produce, it's about maximizing profits, even if it means your veggies are jet-lagged. Modern farming has become a factory operation. Monoculture farming focuses on volume over quality, leading to produce that lacks flavor and nutritional value. Tomatoes that taste like red water balloons with a stem, and strawberries that are all size and no sweetness. It's not farming, it's mass production at the expense of taste and health. Welcome to the era of shrinkflation, where you're paying more for less. Cereal boxes have slimmed down from 500 grams to 450 grams, but the price remains the same. On Reddit, a user posted a side-by-side of 2 nearly identical containers, both claiming they brew up to 400 cups. The twist? The older one holds 51 ounces of grounds, the new one only 43.5. That's corporate caffeine logic, same promise, less product. It's a stealthy price hike, hidden behind familiar packaging. Even household staples aren't safe. Bounty paper towels have reduced their sheet count, and Charmin toilet paper rolls have fewer sheets than before. It's a silent wallet drainer, and most consumers don't even notice until it's too late. Step into any Walmart, and you'll see it. Price tags that seem to have leapt the stratosphere.
Walmart now saying it must raise prices to deal with the cost of tariffs.
Shoppers are flooding Reddit and Twitter with photos of items that have jumped by 38% or more. A Jurassic World toy that was $34.97 in March, now it's $55. A baby-born doll that cost $34.97 in March was selling for $49.97 by May, a 43% increase in just 2 months.
Warned today that it may have to start raising prices later this month due to President Trump's tariff policies.
These aren't luxury items, they're everyday goods. And it's not just toys, groceries, household necessities, and electronics that are all seeing similar hikes. So, who is the culprit? Tariffs and supply chain issues, according to Walmart's CFO.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Price hikes are coming due to the Trump tariff policy. Expect to pay more starting later this month and early next month.
But for the average shopper, the reasons don't matter. What matters is that their grocery bill has ballooned and their paycheck hasn't.
Picked up slightly last month, and many shoppers say they felt it right away on their grocery bill.
I just spend it because I have to eat. That's all. And I go broke.
We used to shop for dinner. Now we shop for survival. This sentiment echoes across social media as families grapple with the new reality. It's not about choosing between steak and chicken anymore. It's about choosing between food and rent. Lower-income households are hit the hardest. According to Engel's law, as family income increases, the percentage spent on food decreases.
It's hard for me to save when the prices are up and when the prices are down.
For the poorest 20% of U.S. households, food accounts for up to 42.6% of their annual before-tax income. That means when prices go up, these families feel it more acutely. They're forced to make tough choices, such as opting for cheaper, less nutritious food options, skipping meals to make ends meet, and cutting back on healthcare spending. It's a vicious cycle that perpetuates poverty and poor health. The numbers paint a bleak picture. In 2023, 13.5% of U.S. households experienced food insecurity, a rise from 12.8% in 2022.
Middle class, low-income earners, it's tough. When you have 2-3 children,
This means over 17 million households struggle to provide enough food for all their members at some point during the year. Children are particularly affected, with 13.8 million living in food-insecure households. Healthcare access is also a concern. As of November 2024, over 70 million Americans were enrolled in Medicaid, the government health insurance program for low-income individuals. Proposed federal spending bills could impose work requirements, potentially causing up to 10 million Americans to lose their health insurance coverage. Diet quality disparities persist. Lower-income households consistently have poorer diet quality, purchasing fewer fruits and vegetables and more sugary beverages compared to higher-income households. These statistics aren't just numbers, they're real people struggling to get by in an economy that's leaving them behind. While you're paying more for less at the supermarket, small farms are vanishing. The FarmLink Project, a nonprofit that connects surplus farm produce to food banks, has rescued over 130 million pounds of food since 2020. But their mission highlights a grim reality. There's plenty of food, yet local farms struggle to stay afloat and communities go hungry. Programs like Michigan's Senior Project Fresh, which provides seniors with $25 for fresh produce, face delays, and digital hurdles, leaving vulnerable populations without access to local, nutritious food. Urban areas are turning into food deserts, where fresh produce is scarce. In response, organizations like Urban Growers Collective in Chicago are creating urban farms to provide fresh food in underserved neighborhoods. Similarly, DC Urban Greens operates community gardens in Southeast Washington, D.C., offering fresh produce in areas lacking grocery stores. Innovative solutions like vertical farming and community-supported agriculture, CSA, are emerging to combat food insecurity. Vertical farms in urban environments reduce transportation costs and provide fresh produce locally. CSAs allow consumers to purchase shares of a farmer's harvest, ensuring access to fresh, seasonal produce. Poor diets are now the leading cause of death in the U.S., surpassing smoking. Over 1 million Americans die each year from diet-related diseases like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. These conditions disproportionately affect low-income communities, exacerbating health disparities. The financial toll is staggering, with an estimated $1.1 trillion spent annually on healthcare and lost productivity due to poor diet and food insecurity. It's not just physical health at risk. A study published in BMJ Nutrition Prevention and Health found that restrictive diets and high consumption of ultra-processed foods are linked to increased depression symptoms. With ultra-processed foods comprising up to 60% of Americans' daily caloric intake, mental health is taking a hit. The long-term fallout of rising grocery prices is a cascade of consequences: local farms closing, communities losing access to fresh food, and a surge in diet-related diseases and mental health issues. It's a system that's failing its people, one overpriced egg at a time. You didn't think this was an accident, did you? The American grocery crisis isn't some unfortunate side effect of global inflation or a random shipping delay from Peru. No, it's working exactly as intended. Because here's the thing, low-quality food is insanely profitable. When corporations shrink the product, water it down, or overprocess it, they're not cutting corners, they're fattening margins. And guess who foots the bill? Everything about the grocery store, the aisle layout, the deceptive packaging, the farm fresh labels slapped on strawberries grown 2,000 miles away. It's engineered to upsell garbage and mask scarcity. And because 4 corporations control 65% of grocery sales in the US, there's no pressure to compete on price or quality, just manipulation. They shrink the box, keep the price, and call it innovation. They call it choice. But really, it's a rigged menu, and you're expected to smile through it. It's not that the food is broken, it's that the system has zero incentive to fix it. The grocery store isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as designed, just not for you. It's a shiny, overlit circus of shrinkflation, fake freshness, and sticker shock, built to funnel more of your paycheck into less food with less nutrition. So if you've been wondering why your dinner tastes like cardboard and costs like caviar, now you know it's not your taste buds, it's the system. And it's not just bad, it's deliberate. Tell us in the comments section, are prices as wild in your city? Have you discovered any hacks to eat well without selling a kidney? Drop your thoughts and stick around. We're not done exposing the rot behind America's shiny aisles.